I did say it's a vote to change local Labour too. You can't look at the council election results, Labour losing 24 out of 25 seats, and not recognise that as a call for real change, both in local politics and in national politics. I think it was a statement saying both of those things, to be honest. So I could have stood there today and done the usual by-election thing. Oh, the Tories this, the Lib Dems that, Reform the other. But I didn't do that because it's on us first and foremost. We need to be better. We need to be better. I've asked people in this by-election to knock on every door, to listen to people, to reconnect with people, because we need to do that. We need to change Labour back to the party people here once knew, a party solidly on the side of working class people in communities. I want people here to have the maximum influence that I could give them as their Member of Parliament. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. In fact, that's how politics works in this country. When I was the MP for Lee, I was Health Secretary, and I did use that influence that I had to help the constituency. I kind of got a regeneration scheme and I kept it alive in 2008 when it would have been pulled as part of the financial crash, because I had influence. I could do it. I could get in there and get those decisions made. And this part of the world should have that level of influence. And why should we be shy about saying that? So yeah, I'll take the fight for these communities as high as I can possibly take it. I will seek maximum influence for these communities so I can be the best possible representative I can be. Well, I look at the figures yesterday and I see real progress being made in relation to net migration, way too high under the last government, coming right down now to the low hundreds of thousands. And that is change, and the Home Secretary deserves credit for that change. It's been raised with me a lot on doorsteps this week. They want the sense that they can have confidence again in the system, and I think that confidence is returning from what the Home Secretary is doing. Now, she's bringing forward a further package of reforms, and I agree with the broad thrust of those reforms. Some areas are subject to consultation, and I think we need to find the right balance in relation to those issues. But broadly, I think the job she is doing, as evidenced by the figures yesterday, is the right job and a good job. You just have to run things properly, and immigration requires control, and it's about running things properly. The Home Office in previous years hasn't had that control, and that's evident through the use of hotels. It shouldn't be like that. And also, if I could say, the Home Office pursues an approach where they kind of take a cut price approach, where it's often poorer communities that kind of have to do most, if you like, when it comes to issues like asylum dispersal. And it's not a fair way of doing things, and they run it in a chaotic way. It's just not right, basically. So there does need to be more change to the system, so that it is seen to be fair, so that people can see the control. The vast majority of people here want to welcome people in. They recognise the contribution to social care, to the NHS, but they want a system that feels like it's under control. And sadly for this government, it hasn't. They inherited one that wasn't in that position. I'm focusing on what I'm doing in this campaign, the things I'm saying, and as I say, the messages I've given today are pretty clear. I hope you feel that they're clear. I've not pulled my punches, I've not minced my words. I've said it as it is, because that's what people here expect, and I don't think they would want me to come out saying, oh, Labour's marvellous and all the rest of it. And so I haven't done that. We do need to change. We do need to get back closer to people. We need to be the party they once knew, that they could trust, that would be always on their side, on the side of working class people and communities. And we've just got to acknowledge that. And anyone who does agree with me is obviously welcome here as part of this campaign.
What to do so?
So I don't think it has, 10 years on, been good for this country. We've got a smaller economy and weaker control of immigration. And let's add that second bit, because that often gets missed. I think the facts, do not stack up in its favour. I've said that, though, I wouldn't rerun the argument. My position is a really clear one, actually. I think this country has spent too long arguing with itself. It spent too long rerunning that debate of 10 years ago, arguing about other things, a whole range of things. We've got to stop arguing and got to start focusing, getting people back together again. I would relentlessly focus on domestic issues, fix what's wrong with this country. That's what we've got to do. We all know in our hearts it's not where it should be, it's not working as it should. We know that. And I think there's a sadness about that. I hear it on the doorstep. People want things to be better. They don't like the idea.
Here.
But what I'm saying is focus domestically, fix our own country before we start worrying again about our relationship with other countries.
You've had the power to fix things.